Chosen one, stop scrolling right now. Do not swipe away from this message. I am not asking for your attention today. I am warning you. The algorithm did not bring you here by coincidence, because heaven literally intercepted your feed and locked this specific video to your screen for a reason. The enemy has been working overtime for the last 72 hours. He is trying to distract you. He knows exactly what is coming. There is a massive blessing scheduled for your life in 2026, and it is a blessing so large that it will permanently break the generational curses of your entire bloodline. But the enemy has set a trap disguised as an everyday frustration. He wants you exhausted. He wants you completely drained before the door even opens. Stay with me until the very end of this message, because I am going to hand you the exact prophetic decree that cancels this specific attack. If you leave now, you walk back onto the battlefield without your armor. Lock your attention on my voice right now. Let us talk about that quiet exhaustion you have been carrying in your bones recently. You know exactly what I mean. It is the kind of tired that sleep cannot fix. You wake up feeling like you just ran a marathon in the unseen realm, leaving you to wonder if it is just stress or if you are actually losing your mind. But I am here to reframe your reality today. That heavy feeling in your chest is not anxiety. It is intense spiritual discernment. Your spirit has been working overtime while your earthly body desperately tries to keep up, because you are constantly shielding people who do not even realize they are under attack. You are a shamar. You are a faithful watchman on the wall, and the weight of that calling is physically exhausting you. The enemy wants you to believe you are just depressed. He wants you to think your best days are behind you. But that is a calculated lie designed to keep your frequency low, because he is absolutely terrified of what happens when you finally wake up to your true power. You have been feeling a strange urge to isolate yourself lately. You walk into a room and instantly feel the fake energy. You cannot tolerate surface-level conversations anymore. People call you antisocial or say you are acting weird. But heaven calls it divine preparation. And God is clearing your room because the frequency of your 2026 blessing requires absolute purity. You are a cycle breaker. You are carrying the mantle for your entire family line. And because of that massive assignment, you have been subjected to an unnatural level of spiritual warfare that most ordinary people could never survive. The fatigue you feel is the friction between your earthly body and your celestial assignment. You are trying to operate a supercomputer on a dial-up connection. The world tries to tell you to just push through the pain. They tell you to work harder and ignore the spiritual heaviness. But your soul knows that earthly solutions will never fix a spiritual blockade, especially when you are a celestial warrior operating deep inside enemy territory. Warriors need time to recover. The battle has been raging for so long. Do not let your mind wander right now. The enemy does not want you to hear this part. He relies on your confusion to keep you trapped in a cycle of delay. But heaven is shining a blazing light on his hidden tactics right at this very moment. You are not failing. You are just carrying a heavy burden. The universe sees your silent struggles. I am naming this early because I do not want to build mystery just to sell you something later. Let me be direct about what is coming so you can decide right now if you want to stay for the full picture. What we just discussed about your mental exhaustion has a physical tool for restoration. Dr. Robert Lake discovered a way to physically turn your frequency back on. A tool exists to bypass the earthly noise. It reactivates your dormant potential. The restoration protocol has a name, and it is called the Genius Song. It uses targeted brain entrainment to naturally reactivate your dormant gamma brainwaves while you sit in quiet silence, which is the exact frequency the enemy has been trying to suppress. Some of you already feel your spirit pulling toward this solution. If your spirit confirms this is the exact tool you have been praying for, the door is already waiting for you in the description and the pinned comment below. Please do not rush. Stay for the full message if you need more context. But if you already know, the path is clearly there. For those staying with me, Here is what heaven wants you to understand next. The enemy is not fighting your present situation. He is fighting the massive shift that is about to happen in 2026, and he sees the massive doors that are unlocking for you in the unseen realm. His only weapon is exhaustion. He wants to make you too tired to walk through them. The delay you are experiencing right now is not a punishment. It is actually a divine and sacred protection protocol. You have been looking at your current situation today. You wonder why your prayers seem to hit a brass ceiling, but heaven intentionally hid you in this waiting season because your spirit needed insulation from the toxic frequencies of the world. The enemy desperately wants you to panic right now. He wants you to force a door open before it is unlocked. Let me reframe your reality right now. You have been reading the spiritual signs entirely backwards. The world told you that your isolation was a weakness, but heaven calls it a sacred incubator. The universe is shielding you from counterfeit connections that would only drain your energy, and they would derail your massive 2026 breakthrough. You are completely safe in this hidden space. Your quiet season is your strongest weapon. Now here is where the truth goes much deeper. This is the part nobody wants to say out loud. Your brain was originally wired to operate on a miraculous frequency called gamma. This is a God-given super brainwave that naturally attracts divine alignment and prosperity. But modern society is designed to systematically shut that sacred frequency down forever. They call this phenomenon the decline effect. They want you living in a constant state of beta stress because fearful people are much easier to control and manipulate. The enemy uses the noise of this world to hijack your frequency. When Dr. Robert Lake spent 34 years mapping out the human nervous system, he discovered an entire sequence of spiritual restoration protocols. The youthful brain is just one piece of his massive framework. He built it to understand how our minds lose their divine connection. He proved that the decline effect is never just about normal aging. It is a targeted and deliberate suppression of your innate spiritual genius. Chosen ones are targeted specifically for a distinct reason. They are born with an unusually high gamma frequency baseline. You remember how easily things flowed when you were a child. You learned incredibly fast, and you had an unexplainable intuition that guided your every step. That was your gamma frequency operating at its full capacity. You were operating on a celestial and magical level. The darkness recognized your brilliant light instantly, and they deployed every single distraction possible to keep you disconnected from your original source of ultimate power. Stay with me right here in this exact moment. Do not let your tired mind wander away today. What I am about to share next will break this cycle of fatigue permanently. It will expose the exact tactic the enemy is actively using right now. He knows that if you regain access to your original brainwave frequency, you will become an entirely unstoppable force of nature in this physical realm. He is completely terrified of your divine potential. You have been walking around wearing a fake survival identity for years. You adapted your personality to survive the severe childhood trauma. But every time you try to manifest your way out of this exhaustion, you are merely trying to heal a spiritual wound with cheap earthly bandages. Your soul knows that true restoration requires a complete inner frequency shift. You simply cannot outwork a massive spiritual blockade. You must elevate your energy entirely above it. This brings us to a profound truth you must anchor your spirit to. Your current exhaustion is not a sign that you are failing at life. It is the physical friction of a two-wave chosen one trying to carry a celestial assignment inside a very heavy earthly vessel. Your spirit is literally vibrating at a speed that your current nervous system cannot support. You are undergoing a massive spiritual and physical upgrade. The intense pain you feel is just the necessary expansion. The enemy understands the physics of the unseen spiritual realm perfectly. He cannot stop the blessing that heaven has already dispatched for your future. So, his only viable strategy is to make you incredibly tired and deeply discouraged, hoping that you will simply sit down and refuse to walk through the open door. He wants you to surrender your birthright immediately. He wants you to completely forfeit the very miracle you have been crying out for. Listen carefully, because this part is going to reach deep places inside you. These are places you have never been able to put into words. You are never a victim of bad luck or circumstances. You are currently standing at the epicenter of a massive spiritual war, and the primary battleground for this fight is your own nervous system. They desperately want to keep your gamma state permanently dormant. But heaven is loudly calling you to awaken today. The 2026 blessing is not just about simple financial abundance. It is about a complete and total restoration of your divine spiritual authority. God is preparing you to step into powerful rooms that will shift the trajectory of your entire family line for many generations to come. But you cannot enter those sacred rooms carrying the heavy frequency of your past trauma. You must drop the heavy baggage right now. You must step into the light of your true calling. Hold on and pay very close attention to this next critical sentence. The enemy is desperately trying to convince you that this waiting period is permanent. But the truth refuses to stay silent in the face of such massive deception, and heaven is about to pull back the curtain on the deepest lie you have been telling yourself. The barrier blocking your path is not what you think it is. The real enemy is currently hiding in plain sight. Your season of being misunderstood by everyone around you is officially closing. The universe isolated you to protect your inner architecture from toxic energies. These were dark frequencies that could not travel with you into this next dimension. You have survived the brutal wilderness season. Now you must prepare your mind to receive the massive truth about your own hidden self-sabotage, because the ultimate revelation of your identity is arriving shortly. You are finally ready to hear the truth. But there is a specific and highly predictable pattern that plays out right here. Do not let your mind wander right now, because the enemy desperately hopes you miss this exact revelation while he distracts you. The greatest threat to your 2026 blessing is not an external demon. The ultimate barrier is hiding quietly inside your own subconscious mind. It is a silent contract you made with your pain. You signed a hidden agreement of limitation many years ago. You convinced yourself that you are merely a damaged person who must settle for breadcrumbs. You decided that your trauma permanently disqualified you from receiving massive abundance. But that is the exact lie the enemy planted in your exhausted mind, because he needs you to deeply fear your own innate spiritual power. Your true identity terrifies the darkness. Why do you think he targets your mind so relentlessly? It is never about making you sad. It is entirely about suppressing your gamma frequency. Your natural celestial brainwave is a massive threat to his entire earthly kingdom. When you operate in gamma, you literally bend physical reality to match your divine assignment without lifting a single physical finger. You manifest absolute miracles effortlessly. This brings us to the profound truth about your 2026 blessing. You wondered why God literally locked this specific video to your screen today. Heaven orchestrated this exact encounter to hand you a prophetic decree. The massive blessing coming to you is not just a simple financial windfall, and it is the complete restoration of your spiritual authority. The delay was never a denial. It was a secure vault. Your blessing was locked away safely so the enemy could not steal it during your weakest season. The spiritual attacks over the last 72 hours were a desperate distraction. The darkness can see the massive vault opening right now. They can see the divine combination clicking into place, and they are completely terrified because you are finally waking up to the ultimate truth. You are the cycle breaker. I need you to release the heavy guilt you have been carrying. You thought your exhaustion was a personal failure. You believed you were simply not praying hard enough, but you were fighting a relentless, unseen battle while everyone else was sleeping comfortably, and you absorbed the heavy blows meant for your entire family. The watchman is allowed to finally rest. Heaven is fighting for you today. Today is the day you tear up that hidden contract of self-sabotage. You must stop apologizing for the massive space your spirit requires. You have shrunk yourself for decades just to make small-minded people feel comfortable around you. But your profound gentleness was never the ceiling of your potential, because it was always the solid foundation of your magnificent strength. You were never meant to be tamed by this world. Once that profound internal shift finally clicks, something miraculous happens. The mental fog immediately lifts. The chronic exhaustion drains out of your body like water. You stop trying to constantly defend your actions to people who misunderstand you. You simply stand in your divine authority, and the entire atmosphere completely shifts the moment you walk into the room. The universe quickly responds. This is exactly why heaven is providing a physical anchor for your spiritual breakthrough right now. We have talked about the intense spiritual warfare targeting your mind. We exposed how the enemy uses the decline effect to shut down your innate genius. The spiritual attacks were carefully designed to keep your nervous system trapped in a perpetual state of beta stress. But deep awareness alone is not enough to break the physical blockade. You cannot just think your way out of a severe physiological trap. Your earthly vessel needs a tangible tool to recalibrate your frequency. The restoration requires a direct intervention that bypasses your exhausted conscious mind. It demands a specific physical mechanism to reactivate the dormant gamma waves hiding inside you so that your nervous system can finally align with your spiritual destiny. The truth needs science. This protocol is not meant for the average person walking the street. It is designed exclusively for the chosen ones who carry the heavy mantle of a generational cycle breaker, because your unique spiritual architecture requires a much deeper level of restoration. It is for the weary spiritual warriors. You have done the hard internal work. You survived the brutal isolation. Now you simply need the correct key to unlock the door. Before the breakthrough fully manifests in your reality, there is a specific physical step you must take. You have waited in the wilderness long enough. The painful season of preparation is officially over. The massive doors of unprecedented favor are unlocking for you right in this very moment. But heaven requires your active physical agreement to seal this cosmic transaction, and you must demonstrate your readiness to step into the ultimate abundance. The key is here. Remember the specific tool I mentioned earlier today. It is time to walk through exactly what it does. Dr. Robert Lake spent 34 years studying the human brain, and he realized that traditional healing methods require your exhausted mind to do all the heavy lifting. But brain entrainment does the hard work for you, because it bypasses your tired mind. Let me tell you the full story of what the Genius Song actually accomplishes for your weary spirit. You have probably tried deep meditation or daily yoga, but those earthly methods demand internal energy that you simply do not have right now. This unique audio track uses targeted frequencies to physically stimulate your brainwaves from the outside. Scientists at MIT and Princeton have studied these exact neurological responses extensively, and they proved it safely guides your nervous system back into a natural gamma state. The healing happens while you sit in absolute silence. The results are completely undeniable, because over 18,366 chosen ones use it while less than 4% ask for a refund. I would never disrespect your current financial situation, but we must be completely honest about what traditional restoration costs today. A single biofeedback therapy session easily costs $150. A weekend mindfulness retreat demands almost $800. But Dr. Lake chose radical accessibility over corporate profit, so he intentionally compressed his entire life work into this 7-minute protocol. The complete activation is available for exactly $39, and this is a simple one-time investment with absolutely no hidden subscriptions, and he included 4 distinct bonuses worth $80 in total. You receive the complete package to protect your new frequency, because your mind requires proper nourishment to stay awake. Your peace of mind is completely honored with a 90-day guarantee. If your spirit does not perfectly align, you receive a full refund and you keep all the bonuses. The only real risk is choosing not to step forward. Every single day your gamma remains asleep is a day you live below your divine potential. The true cost of waiting is paid in broken relationships and constantly delayed prayers. Your destiny is far too important to leave it trapped in the darkness any longer. Your future self is looking back at this exact moment, and you do not need to be perfectly ready today because you just need to be willing to take the first step. Do not let the enemy convince you to delay your massive breakthrough for another decade. I must protect your spirit before you search for this tool. There are many counterfeit imitation tracks online using real titles. The darkness creates endless decoys to keep you distracted from the genuine source of power. Those fake audio files do not contain the embedded entrainment technology. They will only scramble your alignment further. The only verified source is waiting safely in the pinned comment below this video. Step through the door and activate the genius song today. Take a deep breath right now and let the earthly noise fade away completely. You are stepping into the absolute clarity and purpose that was written for you before time began. The heavy season of confusion is finally over. When you finish this initial restoration, your spirit will naturally crave the next deep connection, and the universe always prepares a future path called Destiny's Embrace for those who are ready to evolve. But right now, you must focus entirely on your immediate healing. Place your hand on your heart and speak this sacred declaration out loud with me. I release the heavy burden of my past trauma forever. I refuse to carry the weight of other people any longer. I command the enemy to drop his weapons and flee from my life permanently, because I am stepping out of the dark wilderness and walking directly into my 2026 blessing. My mind is clear, and my spirit is completely awake. The generational cycle of exhaustion ends with me today. Type Amen in the comments right now to seal this powerful declaration into your physical reality. Your words have massive creative power, and heaven is listening to your command right now. Subscribe to this channel right now and turn on all notifications. Heaven is not done speaking to you yet, and you cannot afford to miss the next prophetic instruction. Hit the like button so this specific message can reach another chosen one struggling in the dark. Share this video with someone who desperately needs to hear it. You can be the vessel that brings them out of their own personal wilderness. If this message healed your exhausted spirit today, I invite you to sow a small seed of faith, and you can use the super thanks button below to support this ministry. Then go directly to the pinned comment section. I have placed 3 specific doors there for you to begin your complete frequency restoration. Step into the door that is calling you home. Do not step into tomorrow carrying yesterday's heavy frequency. The divine key is already in your hand.